Greetings and welcome my friends. You have come over to the Gruul combo side. This is On Fire 2, the sequel to the original Gruul Power Stomp deck we did some time ago. The aim of the deck is to crush the opponent using big men that can get to silly sized proportions. We're playing some of the new cards from Thunder Junction that combo together in such a way that we can snipe the opponent's life total in one turn. We also have removal and a sweeper for small men. We don't lean into ramp all that much since we top out at 6 mana. Let's get to the deck. We have 3 Smugglers Surprise, the new instant that lets us put 2 men from our hand into play. For a little bit more, it allows us to make our men with power 4 or greater to have hexproof and indestructible. Which pretty much means all our men can get indestructible at instant speed. The only ones to get destroyed would be the 1/1s from Burn Down the House. Volcanic Spite is a great removal that hits for 3 damage. We can use it to put any card in our hand back in our deck and draw a replacement. It's great for land floods or if we're stuck on 2 or 3 lands. Up the Beanstalk is a great 2 mana card that can give us the edge in long games. In the short term, it replaces itself and digs us a card deeper. Once we start playing out our 5 and 6 mana cards, we can easily get to the point where we overrun the opponent. Topiary Stomper is our ramp. In later turns, it's a solid 4/4 body that with our combo can do much more damage. This is also our mana fixer. We want to hit 2 red and 3 green to be able to play out every card in the deck, and Stomper will help us get there. Invasion of Karsus is our first sweeper. It will hit all 3 toughness men and below. Note that our men will all survive if we plant this down on a populated board. Once we flip it, it turns into Refraction Elemental. A solid 4/4 that hits the opponent for 2 damage every time we play a card. It's pain tacked onto pain. We love it. The Mole God is here to be an absolute menace. Its 8 power will make it a must block, but the opponent will pay a heavy price to put one of their men in its way. Later, it can easily be one of our combo cards that snipe the opponent's life total to 0 or less. GG's bro. Burn Down the House is our second sweeper. It will smash all men and planeswalkers for 5 damage. But if we are doing fine on board and need some extra pressure, we can make 3/1/1 devils with haste. Terror of the Peaks is one of those men that we want to land with Smuggler's Surprise. At instant speed, a terror along with any of our other big men can cause a lot of problems for the opponent. We can ambush their men and on our turn swing in for big damages. Railway Brawler is another new card and the other part of our combo. With this in play and a terror, playing out a Mole God will dish out 16 damage to any target, and we'll have a 16/8 party mole in play. Even Stompers end up being a massive 8/8 with this guy. But the party starts up to its full potential if we get multiple copies of Brawler and the terror in play. Storm the Festival is another great way to fetch out cards right from our deck. It hits on 5 drops or less, which means the majority of our deck can be fetched out. It is sorcery speed, but all we're looking to do is get a terror and Brawler. As if that is not enough, the festival even has flashback. Sure, it's 10 mana, but it's worth getting there to do it all over again. Hogla and Yidaro are a great utility creature. It can be brought down for its full 6 mana cost and get haste and trample or fight an opponent's creature. And for 4 mana we can channel it to destroy an artifact or enchantment, and it will shuffle itself back into the deck and draw us a card. That's a very powerful and underrated ability. For lands we have 4 Riveteer's Overlook. This serves to fix our mana to get us the right amount of colors that we need. And it thins the deck of lands so we draw less lands in later turns. Playing 1 effectively counts as 2 lands out of the deck. We have 4 Proving Grounds, the triple land in our colors. It works as a duel early, but later on we can cycle it for another card if we have too many lands. 4 Rockfall Vale is a duel in our colors. It is more important to have untapped lands coming into play in the mid to late game versus getting the mana early. 6 Forests and 6 Mountains round out our mana base. Playing the deck is not that complicated. It is a matter of building up our board in the early turns with a Stomper or Beanstalk. Use the Volcanic Spite to snipe enemy men and to smooth out our hand. Whether we have too many lands or not enough, the Spite can be very helpful. That's why we're playing this over Lightning Strike. The mid to late game is when we take over. If we have men in hand that we can surprise with, then we'll fire it off and plant some of our big men on board at instant speed. Or we can use a festival to get our men from the top of our deck. The goal is to get at least 1 Brawler and 1 Terror in play at the same time. Once we've done that, the game should quickly turn in our favor. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Selena Dione. No wait, it's Calion T. I'm right, I know it. We're kicking off with a 4-lander. The only early play is a Beanstalk, but we do have a sweeper in case we need it, although that won't happen until turn 5. Keep. They might be on one of those Orzhov life gain decks. It's almost silly how often I play against them. A Beanstalk gets us another land. We've got all we need for the rest of the game. Luckily for us, life gain is not incredibly fast, so we have plenty of time. That's life gain for you. Life link men with life gain men and more life gain. A bat is never really a problem for long. We draw an invasion. It's a perfect sweeper for all their little men. We'll have to see what is on board by the time we can play it out. Maybe we'll delay playing it for a turn or two. Delaney means we will plant our invasion. There's no way we can leave that guy alive. Fire in the hole. You have to love a perfect 3 for 1. Against us, these little 1/1 men are not going to cut it. It doesn't matter if we have to kill them twice. Eventually they will have to block or it'll get swept up with other men. We'll play out our terror and get a draw. Next time we can play out the sweeper for 3/1/1 men and start getting in for hits. Our guy was Poof the Magic Dragon because he just disappeared. We could play our Rock Fall Veil and fire off the festival. But I think I'll feel better if we wipe their men. Another voice. It's like they're bent on gaining life. This will be a festival turn for us. I don't think they can gain enough life to get their voice out of kill range of our spite. Let's get this party started. Hey, it's our combo. What's great is they trigger each other, so we get a doubled up terror and we get a 5-point hit. They scoop it up. We had a big 27-point hit coming on our next turn. GG's. This is Dim Addis. No wait, it's Dime Tease. Yeah, that's it. We get a 3-lander that is a bit too heavy with our top end. I keep some crazy hands sometimes, but this is one we can't keep. Even if we draw any of our early cards, we won't be able to play anything out until turn 3. Maul. Now we get a 3-lander that looks okay. We have one of our removals and a Beanstalk. We'll put away the Brawler. I'm pretty sure we can find another one. Tossing cards is brutal. We want everything we have in hand. I think we have to sacrifice a land. Hopefully our Beanstalk can help us find more lands. We get a second Beanstalk, so I think we're looking alright. They play out of Vlad the Impaler. It's an excellent card, but it dies to our removal. We have to snipe Vlad right away, otherwise he will grow out of hand. On their very next turn he could end up a 4/4 and be out of range. A Glissa is pretty bad too. The opponent is packing top-notch cards. Luckily Glissa doesn't grow the way Vlad does. A Stomper is pretty good right now. We can drop him and get ourselves up to 4 mana. We're just 1 away from terror. We get a burn down the house, but we are short the 1 mana. Let's play out our beanstalks and maybe we can get that land this turn. That was not a land. Let's try again. Alright, that's a hit. It will be a sweeper turn next unless we draw another removal. We need that Glissa gone. Another Tiny Bones joins up. We'll toss the Terror. It's a risk, but if we get a 6th land we can fire off our festival and hopefully drop some pain on board. They destroy a beanstalk. We saw that coming. Alright, it's time for Glissa to go. Get gone, girl. They're taking their time thinking about this one. We will be fine with them sacrificing their plaza. Sure, Glissa will live, but they go down to 4 lands. And as you can see, that is not an easy decision to make. That is unfortunate. They've got a 2nd plaza. This is one of those games where the shuffler gives the opponent all the right cards at the right time. Their mill worked out to our advantage. What a surprise. We'll be able to fire off our festival. Do they sacrifice their 2nd plaza to keep Glissa alive? They do. That's still okay. We'll be able to drop one of our men and try to take her out again. They come in. We'll block Glissa since we don't want them drawing more cards. It's fine if Tiny Bones does his thing. It's not something we will worry about for now. We got another beanstalk. We can play it out and still have mana for one of our big men. And just like that, we've gotten ourselves back in the game. If they don't have removal for our men, we will have lethal next turn. Let's see what they do and if it will be GG's or not. We'll take the hit from Tiny Bones. If they play out a guy without playing a removal, we have the game. That is not removal. GG's, bro. We'll play out our other terror and hit them in the face for 10 damages. Did that hurt, bro? I'm not sorry, lol. They have only one blocker, let's send all. Why take chances? right? This is gross. No wait, it's crows say. Crows say ah ah ah. Am I right? I'm right. This 4-lander is one of those weird hands we end up keeping. We can use the Volcanic Spite to throw a mountain back in the deck and maybe it can draw us a second green mana. As we like to say around here. Keep your pants on. Their first play is a dog that replaces itself. Let's see what else they have. Looks like they had another play but decided not to throw anything else down. We'll snipe their dog and send away a mountain. A beanstalk is okay. It can at least draw us into another card. And we get a forest. That is perfect. We can start playing out our stompers and ramp up to our big men. They pass the turn without any plays. Very good, not for them, but for us. Just like that we're up to 7 mana. Stompers are better than some people realize. They drop a 4/4 of their own. Is this what they were holding back that turn they didn't play anything? They get their dog back but now they'll have to toss a card. Yeah, that's embarrassing. GG's. This is Brevitas. No wait, it's just Brave AS from the year 1985. We're starting off with a 3-lander that looks alright. We'll have to decide if we want to have mana up for the Volcanic Spite or play out a Stomper on curve. Other than that, there's no issues. Keep. Wouldn't you know it, mono red. The mountain means we can both hold up Spite and play our Stomper on curve. They are definitely not missing a beat. The question is, do we want to give them a card and save ourselves 3 damage or not give them a card and save ourselves only 2 damage? Well, after that it's definitely give them a card and save ourselves 3 damage. We'll even toss a land back in our deck. It's an endless supply of lands. At least we have a sweeper that we can fire off pretty soon. And now the question is, do we go with a Stomper or keep up the Spite? It might be best to eliminate one of their men now, so let's snipe their 2/2. We can even ship a mountain since we have Stompers to dig them back up anyways. A war crafting is something we did not see coming. Now they have a 4/4 beater that is out of range of our sweeper. We'll play out a Stomper and then drop our search land, but it feels like this game is getting away from us. It's another invasion. I think they got us. Yup, that's GG's. This is Flea Ring Circus, the Flea Master. No wait, it's Flea squared. We get a 4-lander with 2 stompers and a removal. We will easily be able to get to 6 mana. All we need to do is draw into our powerful cards. Keep your pants on. They look to be on mono black aggro. They'll likely be trying to rush us with little men. They get an underdog and are pretty set up for pain. We'll hold up Volcanic Spite and snipe one of their men. They are already down to only 4 cards in hand, so their ammo might be running low. They fire off a duress, so we'll fire off our Spite. They'll take it right out of our hand if we let them. It is tempting to put a land back in, but let's hold what we got. Everything plays a role in getting us to where we need to be. They play out a Gordon Ramsay. They might be planning on sacking their own men for cards. We'll go with a Stomper and fetch up a mountain. It's rather likely we'll want to fire off our sweeper next turn. They swing in for 3 damages. They are not doing as much damage as I was expecting. They go for a Grave Lighter. It's just a way of getting rid of our Stomper, but he wasn't doing anything for another couple of turns anyways. We'll fire off our sweeper. They are down to 1 card in hand, and sure, they have men that come back from the grave to party all over again, but we've drawn into a festival. That should let us take over the board. They hit us with their underdog from the grave. As good as he is still rather small. Let's fire off the festival. And we totally whiff. There's 3 lands and a beanstalk. At least next turn we can drop the Brawler and the Stomper. An 8/8 Stomper should be enough of a wall to stop them from swinging in. That's half our lands already. On the bright side, we will have enough to pay the flashback cost on our festival. That's an undead butler. It doesn't really fit in the deck. But maybe that's just me. They snipe our brawler, but we still have an 8/8 Vigilant Stomper. And we have the mana for the festival. Luckily we're not land flooding or anything. That's decent at least. It eliminates their blocker and we can get in for a solid hit. We'll go straight to their dome. We might be able to finish the game off on our next turn. That's an excellent snipe from the opponent. The game will have to continue on. We get another Beanstalk. Nothing like getting something that can refuel our hand. We'll play out our brawler and follow it up with Stomper. Playing an underdog from the grave puts them in our kill range. Oopsie poopsie bro. And GG's. This is Jim Dork. No wait, it's Gin and Juice. No wait, it's Gin Dore K. We get an alright 3-lander. I always like having a Spite and a Beanstalk in our opening hand. Keep your pants on. Mono Red has made a return visit. Let's put our hands together for Mono Red. You have put together a very creative deck, bro. We'll hold up mana for our Volcanic Spite. If they go to pump their guy, we'll snipe him. Or even if they don't, we'll still snipe him. They tap out for an Electrostatic Infantry. It's a neat card, but it belongs in a control build. We'll send away the Brawler. What we'd really like to see is more removal or a sweeper. There will be time for Brawlers later. We draw into another removal. We'll fire it off and clear out the board. Get gone, girl. Our terrors should be real terrors against their small men. Alright, it's time for our first terror to get in there. They fire burn at our terror. It looks like they want it off the board. That's great, they have to use 2 cards to get the job done. At this rate we'll be the only ones with cards in hand. Don't oops me, I haven't made a mistake. Oh, there goes their head. GG's.